Welcome to the RotoWire DFS show. I'm Adam Zdroik, joined by Luis Pacheco for Tuesday's two-game Champions League slate. We're back with Champions League. We're back with Manchester City. Luis, how was your weekend? I'm in Michigan here. It's still snowing right now. It's below freezing. We have snow on the ground. It is March 13th. But how are things with you?
It was pretty until this week, and it got really cold this week for some reason down here in the south, but it's still no snow. So, I feel bad for you. I like snow, but I understand that after 3 months of continuous plenty snow, it gets old. So,
The only people that say they like snow don't live in the north where it snows for 3 months of the year. So
yeah, that's what I get to understand. So,
So for this slate, we have Manchester City. They are tied 1-1 here against Leipzig. They are, of course, now they're at home, 70% chance to win, 2.16 implied goal total. Leipzig's at 0.9. In the other match, Inter are ahead 1-0. And Porto are slightly favored, but it's pretty much even odds here, as you can see on our cheat sheet, rotowire.com/soccer trial. They're both at 1.35 implied goals here, according to the odds. So that's pretty interesting. So,
yeah.
Luis, my first question here for you, it may be a little difficult, but how much do you know about Andre Franco for Porto?
Well, he was amazing on Estoril Praia, and he's been on a tier with Porto, right? Like he's been playing kind of like right winger, central midfielder. He took all the corners this weekend, so pretty exciting for the price if he starts. Like we're waiting for Jesus to come, and Jesus doesn't come, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what the actual lineups look like. We know that Otavio is suspended, so that's one of the reasons Franco seems likely to start. He started the last two in league play for Porto, and as Luis said, he's splitting corners with Eustachio. We'll see. I guess we'll see if Eustachio is actually starting. That is one of the questions. But Galeno returned from an injury over the weekend. And then Evan Nilsson has been out since the first leg, so he's probably not going to be ready to start. It really seems like Franco's going to start, and you can pretty much get – Porto are at home. You can get a split set piece taker at 3,800, and he basically allows you to plug in all of the Manchester City guys. So, Luis, while you're walking around your house here, are you just plugging?
I need to get my dog
in?
out. It's amazing. Like she wanted to go to the outside now. It's great.
Okay. Yeah. Always got to take care of your dog, so that's no problem here. Just Andre Franco, you're just plugging him in every lineup kind of
Yeah,
a thing, or
it's a free square in my
right?
opinion. You lose absolutely nothing. You need a player. Porto. As you say, Porto is favored to win. They need to score a goal. This guy's taking corner set pieces. He's scoring goals. He looks good. If you wanna, this is one point. Like, if you really want to get too cute, you cannot do it. But why?
Right. As I'm looking now, the UEFA actually updated their projected lineup and they removed Franco from it. They have Grujic and Galeno starting on the wings with Eustachio and Uribe. So we know it's not sure Franco starting isn't guaranteed, but the fact that UEFA changed their projected 11s this morning, I believe, has me a little bit worried now. So we haven't talked about Manchester City yet, but so we're building our lineups around Franco. What do we do if he doesn't start? I guess is the next question. Would it be? Grujic is he's midfield only, so you.
Yeah, you will have to play someone else at forward, right? Like, probably Mahrez is going to play. I'm not. Is Grealish forward eligible? I'm not
He's
sure.
not, which is the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, you have to go for someone else. It will get interesting. Obviously, it was nice to get Franco, but if we don't, I like what we did on the previous slate, right? You go Lautaro, you go Mahrez, and now Haaland is as expensive as Lautaro, right? Well, no, Haaland is a lot more expensive, but
Only 900 more.
yeah. So it's just So I guess people will go Haaland, Mahrez, I believe. So if he starts, right? Like we're hoping that Mahrez starts. He didn't start the weekend, but he hasn't played in a couple of matches. So
Right. So, all right. I guess we can get into Manchester City. Luis
yeah,
wants to talk about Manchester City here. So Holland minus 200 to score,
yeah,
which is a lot.
yeah,
Uh, and so you mentioned Mahrez. Foden came off after 50 or so minutes over the weekend. He's dealing with like a plantar fasciitis, which which is kind of why we're projecting Mahrez to start here.
yeah,
You wouldn't expect Foden, who came out last week and was like, yeah, my foot's still bugging me, kind of a thing. You wouldn't expect him to start twice within 4 days here. So it's assumed it's going to be Grealish, De Bruyne, and Mahrez here, starting with Haaland up top.
yeah.
That's the assumption. So Mahrez, are you making lineups with Mahrez and Haaland, or are you in the fade Haaland camp? Which I think there has to be discussion of fading Haaland, given what he's actually produced in, I don't
Yeah.
know, the last couple months.
Yeah, it just, I think, it's going to come down to what do you think Man City is going to do, right? Man City seems to be, um, I mean, Pep is, even though he says he doesn't, he's very self-aware of his record in Champions League. You saw the match at the reverse fixture. Uh, Man City play are not to happen anything. They keep possession, not many shots, not much going on. It felt as if Pep said, well, I don't want to lose the match here, which is usually what he does away from home. I mean, now at home, I guess, he has to attack, but again, I feel he's being very conservative to try to pass through the stages. So, there's concern with Haaland on the sense that, maybe there's not that many shots. And I mean, Manchester City hasn't been the machine they used to be at the beginning, like hat tricks every other
Mm.
match. So, it's just a concern on that. But I mean, what are the alternatives, right? Like let's say, we are living in a world that Andre Franco does not start. And you have Mahrez, which is, makes it like automatically 60% owned in cash gains or more. So who are you going to do besides that? I mean, uh, Taremi is as expensive as Lautaro. I mean, they have Checo. I don't know. I'm not sure how Checo is expensive, but Checo and Lukaku might trade places, so you're not going to have the full time there. Haaland is always going to stay in the pitch, right? Even if Manchester is behind, that's the biggest goal scoring threat. So I feel that you are in cash, you are scheduled in, or you are boxed in playing Haaland and Mahrez, or Haaland and Foden, whoever starts, right? So
You think so? We're boxed into playing both those guys if Franco doesn't start.
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, would you like? I mean, would you like any of the RB Leipzig guys? I mean, we talk about Forsberg, but if you see the fantasy output on the home match is pretty low for it. And I think only Haustenberg have a decent match. And everybody else was like low floor points, and
Yeah. I just want to find something else to do other than Holland. That's
Oh no,
just what I want to
obviously,
do. Yeah.
it would be nice to do something else than Holland, but especially at night out, and I feel it's a lot to pay if you wanna have like decent midfielders, right? You want De Bruyne, and you want I don't know, Hakan. Well, we'll see.
So if Franco doesn't start, would you consider any of these other Porto guys? Evan Nielsen's 5,700, Pepe Aquino 5,200, Tony Martinez 4,900. So you got all these guys who are, no matter who starts, would probably be subbed off early. Take a look at
Yeah,
the bench. We'll see. But does anyone stand out if Franco isn't in there?
God, I mean, if you need salary, right? Like it's just a matter, like, either if you're not gonna play Haaland, I feel that you play the cheapest guy you can find, which I guess is going to be a Tony Martinez, right? I know Evan Nielsen in the list you have Pepe as forward. I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
Pepe
Pepe's
Aquino. Yeah,
Pepe. Yeah,
he's
so I will get the
5,200.
winger, the cheaper winger, which is probably Pepe Aquino for 5,200,
Mm-hmm.
and pray.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I mean, the other move is
He got like 1 point on the other match, Lord, in 90 minutes. Jesus. Yeah,
Aquino.
yeah,
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 yeah, he got a yellow card, so that kind of dropped him down a little bit.
yeah. Taremi didn't have a bad game, but I feel better playing Lautaro than Taremi at those prices, and at those prices rather play Haaland. So yeah, I'm sadly keep my lukewarm take. Then you're gonna have to play Haaland if there is no Andre Franco, because the other options are just not good or just for GPP.
If you really don't want to play Holland, would you prefer Termi or Lautaro?
Lautaro.
Okay.
I think Inter is a good team. They don't have to win, but 1-0 is not a good score. I mean, it's just anything can happen, right? So
But what do you think is going to happen in that match? So Inter are up a goal. They're at Porto, and
I
I
don't
mean,
know, man. I wish I could tell you it's open match, but considering I mean, I expect something like 0-0, 1-0, one side, and it depends when the goals get scored, right? If the Inter scores early, Porto want to try to push. If not, it's just gonna be a tactical match. Let's call it that way.
yeah, I mean, Inter's goal came Lukaku off the bench in that first leg, and it was when Otavio was already out with his red card. So
Yeah,
Inter are up a man. They're at home in that one. And I mean for the most part, Inter had a lot of was a better side in terms of
yeah,
fantasy. I mean they had 6 corners. Porto didn't have any. 18 shots to 10 shots kind of a thing. They had a bunch of
yeah,
crosses, which is kind of what happens with their wing backs. So
yeah.
you still think Inter, even in Porto, they still have a little bit of an edge there.
I think so. I
Okay.
mean, it's just a matter of like, I mean, I know this might be biased, but if you see rosters, I mean, Inter rosters on paper much better quality wise than Porto. So
Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to go through how I'm gonna make this Mahrez, Holland, and De Bruyne lineup, and you're probably gonna
not
have to
easy.
you're probably gonna have to spend down somewhere at defender, but we'll make our way through there. So speaking of midfield and De Bruyne, we got De Bruyne at all these guys are kind of at like the same price, which is I don't know. DraftKings, they're kind of it's like okay, let's just make all these guys a similar price, so we're not going to be
Yeah,
called out for having Foden at 1K more than Holland, which I feel like has happened recently on a
yeah,
Premier League slate. But I mean, you plug in De Bruyne, right? I mean, there's no reason not to play him because it's not like what else are you doing? You're not. There's no
yeah,
reason to go with Chalanoglu or Stakio when they're, I mean,
yeah. Like
1,600,
so close. Yeah,
1,800. Yeah, it's not that big of a difference in price and just a situation with Manchester City. So we got the big three for Manchester City. The question is, what else are we going to do with that second midfield spot? Do you have
yeah,
because we're not going to. I mean, if we go Holland, we're not going to be going with Çalhanoğlu or Stakio or whoever in this high end range, really, because you're just not going to have the room. But if Franco starts, I guess we do have to talk about who would you like? Would you like Grealish? How would you rank Grealish, Çalhanoğlu, and Eustáquio here in this high mid range here?
well, if Franco start, I mean, I'm not sure. I need to check, and I encourage people to do the same to check what happened when Eustáquio and Franco play together, because one is going to eat into each other, right?
They split
So
corners. The last 2 matches they split.
yeah, I mean, is Franco start? I think. I mean, I feel Çalhanoğlu might be more popular than Grealish, but either of those two over Eustáquio to me. I'm not sure which one's going to be more popular. Maybe Grealish because you are playing. Well, you don't have to play Haaland anymore, but maybe you want one more Man City piece instead of like Inter away. Even
Hmm.
though Hakan is a little bit safer, right? I think. I mean, Grealish takes some corners, right? When even with Mahrez and De Bruyne, right? I'm not sure though. No, he might not.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of a
yeah,
toss up, really. I'd say.
yeah, yeah. And German teams are tall, so it's not that City's going to be crossing in the box. Um, so I don't know. I think it, Hakan over Grealish, both of them over Eustáquio by a significant margin. If Andre Franco stars, right? If Andre
Mhm.
Franco doesn't star, Eustáquio stars. Um, I mean, I guess I will go Eustáquio over Hakan. Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess Grealish will be not in consideration, but I mean, I would say Grealish or Eustáquio would be the conversation to me. So
Yeah, with also with depending what the lineup looks like. Like if Foden is on the bench, he could come on for
yeah,
Grealish or Mahrez. So
yeah,
that's I guess I think it was Julian Alvarez came on for he may have
yeah,
came on for Foden over
yeah,
the weekend. I think that's what it was.
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
Pep seems to be fine with kind of doing like maybe a 4-4-2 kind of a thing with
yeah,
Alvarez and Haaland at the same time. So
yeah. Julian Alvarez is good like a second forward. He's a smart guy. I mean, they definitely. I mean, he's definitely not gonna get Haaland out. It's just such a avenue to get a score. So
yeah, would you like any of these mid-range Manchester City pieces? We'll see. We'll see who actually starts. Bernardo Silva 6,800, probably not. Gundogan 6,300. Rodri is 5,500.
man, everything was terrible. Honest to you,
Right.
I mean, I played Mkhitaryan on the reverse, and he was not pretty good. Um, um,
Yeah,
I was
I've
expecting
never
him to
been
be a
able
little
to
bit
trust
better.
him.
Yeah, obviously you can't either. But at 4,000, I don't know who to trust at that point, right? Like if you need a second midfielder, I mean, what can you do, right? You have Mkhitaryan at the bottom, or you have, and that's what we have. It's sad,
Right.
man. I mean, can you do one of the? I mean, can you do Forsberg maybe?
We don't even get
Second.
like a cheap Brozovic because he's not expected to start, and Barella's at
Yeah,
5,700.
yeah. Can you use a cheap guy like Kevin Campbell's here? I guess it's just
I do not want Kevin Campbell on my
yeah. I
team.
don't know. I don't either. One. I don't want Kevin Campbell, but
Yeah. I mean, him and Lamer there in central midfield because Schlager's out for the rest of the season.
yeah.
I'd
I just hate the
rather
implication of the salaries, right? I just hate the implication of this. Uh,
if you're just looking to punt like Marco Guric is 3,700. Again,
yeah,
we're talking like if Franco doesn't start,
yeah,
because
exactly.
otherwise we're plugging him in. He's going to be
Yeah,
if Franco starts, he should be plus 50% um,
yeah,
in pretty
without a
much
doubt.
every competition. I mean, so if I mean, of course, this depends on the rest of your lineup, but would you rather have like one of the Manchester City midfielders like a Rodri for 5,500 or just a complete punt with Marco Guric at 3,700?
Why? I mean, I'm gonna say it depends of what defenders you want. It feels
Yeah,
for lineup construction. Like, do you want DiMarco? He's definitely good for DraftKings, but he didn't play much the last match. Now they don't even have to push. So I mean, if he's gonna be sub out after 60 minutes and 7 points for 7,000, might be a concern there. So in that case, who do you play, right? Because you know, Halstenberg, and I'm talking. I know I transition to defenders, right? But I think like the second midfielder is gonna depend on whoever you play in defense, right? So
yeah.
so
So
it depends.
let's get into defense. So the one thing I wanted to bring up here, so Inter, they have some injuries on their back line, and as you can see in our projected 11, we have Darmian, Matteo Darmian expected to start at center back, which has been the case recently because Skriniar has been out. Skriniar, I don't believe Inter have had their press conference yet, but if Skriniar is out or if he's on the bench, Gosens is out. He's the other guy that goes in and out with DeMarco. So if Darmian
Gosen is out? Oh, I didn't know
yeah,
Gosen. I saw him playing this weekend. Oh, that makes it different.
Yep, he picked up a calf injury. So that right, that makes a bit of a difference, I'd say. So
Yeah, no,
I'd
it
say
does.
if you have Darmian playing as a center back, you may get DeMarco and Dumfries kind of in range for full 90s, or at least more than regular, because they don't really have. I mean, again, depends on Skriniar, but Gosens is the guy that's been in and out on the left wing, and then it's been Dumfries and Darmian on the right wing. So if all three of these guys start, we could see more minutes than we're used to seeing. So if that's the case, do you want to spend up on the 6,200 for DeMarco, the 5,400 for Dumfries? Is there a preference between the two, or
definitely DeMarco? I'm not a Dumfries guy, but I know he scores. So, I would definitely. I mean, knowing that Gosen is out, I would definitely play DeMarco because there's not many more players. Considering like how important are crosses into Inter play style. I mean, I like DeMarco a lot. My problem with DeMarco is always that, that 50, 60 minutes impending swap, right? But now with like a lot less chances to do so, I like him. My problem with Dumfries, I mean, I'm glad that he's back on defense. If you can afford it, go ahead. I mean, I think that's not a bad play. I'm not as excited. I think rather play the Porto guys. I know Sanusi is kind of hard to predict, but for that salary, maybe even Halstenberg, I'm expecting. I mean, the games are like the other game. He wasn't bad, so.
Yeah,
but I mean, Dumfries is great, but it's not like a complete lock. Like for me, DeMarco will be near locked because of the price, right? So, but Dumfries is a little bit more hesitant. It depends if you can fit it, right? I would keep him for. Yeah, go ahead. So I would keep him for utilities if you can afford it, right?
Okay. Yeah, if you just look through DeMarco's game log, and I mean, you can go down the cheat sheet. He has like the projected starters, the fourth best floor per 90. I mean, he's already has a pretty good floor in 70 minutes. But if you can say that maybe he is more likely to go 90 without Gosens in there, that makes him, top 5 floor in the slate kind of thing. So
yeah,
definitely something to keep an eye on with the lineup. And yeah, Dumfries. I mean, other than those two guys, I mean, as you're saying, there's not a ton. Would you rather play Kyle Walker or Marcel Halstenberg here?
I'd rather do Halstenberg.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd rather not play Walker. I'd rather play anyone else but Walker.
Yeah, you still have more clean sheet upside with Walker, though. You still like Halstenberg, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can play if you want to play Kyle Walker, rather play Nathan Ake, right? He's going to play, but
Ake,
I mean, I don't know what City is going to
3,600.
do, if they're going to go with the 3 center backs or Ake is going to play or not. So
Yeah, well, maybe instead of even looking at the cheap fullbacks, what if you just went down a little more to really, I guess, let me check here. So this morning,
yeah, what is the cheaper defender you have on display? Pepe, I guess.
I was reading something that Zaidu actually got injured. I thought he got injured. All right, I can't remember what I was seeing, but there's a reason that we moved Rodrigo Cansao.
Joe Mario got injured, I think, last week.
Oh, it's Joe Mario. That's right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. UEFA changed it to they put Pepe Aquino at right back instead of Rodrigo Conceição.
Yeah.
um,
Consensao, I guess. Consenson.
Conceição.
Conception, I guess.
So I mean, there's a possibility he actually is in there. Granted, he's like one of the guys who may only go 45 minutes, so that is a worry. But I'm not sure you'd want to play Pepe Aquino. I guess if Pepe Aquino started at fullback at 5,200, would that be an avenue to plug him in at forward, even though he's playing fullback for Porto? Is that not that intriguing? But
I mean, I don't. You could say that you can play, but I rather dream bleach, man. It's just 5,000 for a fullback just because you have to fill a spot. My God, it's just. I mean, do I rather play Dumfries defense and just eat a cheapest guy on midfield? I don't know. Just it's tough. It's tough. Now I saw the salaries were a little bit easier. Now I realize that they are not. The defenders are really bad. So
yeah, so Pepe Aquino, he started the last two group stage matches at right back. He did not have a cross in either of those games.
no.
So that is not great for a fullback.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Akanji is the cheapest Manchester City defender at 3,400. Yep, looks like that's the case.
Yeah, Kanji is the cheapest. The cheapest defender on the slate is how much? Pepe 3,100. Let me see.
Marcano's 2,700.
Willie Orban is 3,000. So there you go.
Yeah. So would you rather the 4K guys or one of the center backs?
I'd
Are you
rather
that
play
heavy on?
Ake. I think
Okay.
I will stack my lineup on Halstenberg. I think
You love Halstenberg.
I think he was pretty decent, especially if Rom doesn't play. Um, you know,
Are you worried about the sub situation? Like if he's in at left back, you got to think, what if Manchester City go up a goal and Leipzig need to press? Leipzig probably prefer to have Raumann instead of Halstenberg if they need to attack, right?
yeah, Adam. But at this point, I'm just trying to find someone with some upside, cheap. So yeah, I would like not to have to play him, but
Yeah. All right. I'm just trying to. I don't know if I can play Halstenberg at Manchester
no,
City.
I don't want to, but I might have to. So
Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake. Someone else.
you know, I
Someone.
I'm gonna say this. I think this is the first time I ever gonna say anything like this in a soccer slate. But I will play Andre Franco even on the bench. I know he's coming. I'd rather put the 3,600 on my second midfielder spot and then hoping for Gruji to do something.
I was
So,
honestly gonna ask that. So okay.
I'm honest to you. I mean, if he's on the bench and he's on the squad, I might really consider playing him either way. This is how bad this looked to me. So
My main worry is that the last 3 times that he's been on the bench, he's appeared once and played just 2 minutes. Grant, I mean that is obviously whenever you're playing someone on the bench, that's a massive worry. I remember in the World Cup, I think I played Di Maria for Argentina, and he never got on the pitch, kind of thing, because he was coming off his injury, and they didn't need him. So this is just always something to bring up. Well, there's always a chance he doesn't actually play, even though if we're kind of thinking he may start. So, I mean, yeah, he's 3,800. Are you going to be okay with 0 points from 3,800? Maybe.
that's what I'm trying to say. If I'm considering Grujic or considering Halstenberg or considering any of these guys, I mean, I know in defense it's tough because there's not much good stuff outside. Well, we can say, I mean, I don't like Dumfries as much, but he definitely has more upside for the price than any other player. So you can play DeMarco Dumfries and maybe a decent goalie. I don't know if you want Ederson here. But I'd rather take a 0 with a hope and
Mhm.
get killed by the hope than, I don't know. It just feels like playing Grushit or something like that. It's okay, but my God,
Right.
the upside seems so limited.
So we didn't mention Sanusi. What Sanusi is behind Halstenberg. Just I mean he's also 4,400 as well.
Yeah, I think I like Sanusi, but I think it's behind Holzenberg just because of the 400.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm not sure if they take you anywhere, but
All right. So for goalkeeper, you mentioned Ederson. He's 5,700, 42% clean sheet, and then the other guys are kind of all below 5K. Onana's 4,800, Costa 4,700, Blaswich is 3,800. So is the move to rack up a bunch of saves with Blaswich, or would you rather just pick either goalkeeper in the Porto Inter match?
God, it's just, yeah. Again, the salaries are not fun, right? I mean, Blastwich seems like the no brainer because of the price, right? Because I kind of like Onana, and a away team, the home team has to push. It's gonna have saves. But at 4,800, it feels like a huge risk for something that might not happen according to what we know. So it feels like Blast, which is the guy to go, or play Ederson. I mean, I don't know. Like the middle goalkeepers at those prices are just, they feel expensive. I don't know. What's your take?
Well, I'm just trying to put together my lineup here, so I'm trying to figure out what goalkeeper I actually need. And I mean, there's certain builds where you can actually get to Ederson, so it won't be that difficult. He'll probably be fairly popular. I mean, biggest favorite, 42%, Manchester City at home, because it's not that difficult to get him. That's as long as you're not going Holland, I should say.
Yeah,
As long
yeah,
if you're fading Holland, it's pretty. You probably want Ederson, I
yeah,
guess, is the move there. So because it's not that difficult to get him if you're fading Holland. Um,
yeah,
because and then of course that'll also depend on probably your second defender, your second midfielder. Like if you're spending up on Eustachio, spending up on Dumfries, then your utility would be kind of in the trash. But as we've been saying, every sub 5K player on the slate is probably about the same. The same. I mean, no one stands out sub 5K, so why not just go with a 3K, 2.5K guy instead of spending up on whoever's up here at 5K? Really,
yeah,
because are any of these guys worth it? Like if is Forsberg worth it at 4,900 for 70 or so minutes? Is Enrique's at 4,800 if he's playing at right back? I mean, I guess. I mean, uh, Darmian is 4,600. Maybe you can hope that if he starts a center back, maybe he moves up to
yeah,
moves up to one of the wings. I mean, that's still a hope, but just all these guys are kind of
yeah,
okay, and I'm not sure why you need the extra 2K or whatever to get a Forsberg or I mean,
yeah.
obviously for more upside with like Forsberg, Martinez kind of a thing, but I mean, definitely not in cash games. So
No, I'm with you, man. It's just it's a bad place to be. Sometimes I feel maybe, if you're gonna go full city, well, get the city guys. So try to find some correlation there. For That's not real a cash lineup. That's a GPP lineup. But
mhm.
I can get behind getting the Inter guys and you know cheap goalie, Leipzig goalie. Um, I also don't have a good view of who is going to be the best goalie on this slate. It's just, I mean, I feel Manchester City might not get shots, but they get a goal, you're done with Ederson. I kind of like Diogo Costa. I think he probably Porto needs to push. If you think they're going to win or something, I mean, he might be a good guy to have. Onana, definitely the guys with most potentially have more saves since Porto has to score. Um, but I'm not sure if that makes him 1,800 more expensive than Blastwich. So
Right.
I just I guess it's gonna be goalkeeper is gonna be Blastwich first, and then if I have some salary, I would switch. But
Mhm. So, what are your thoughts on this match? These matches here. I think you're kind of on Inter, like a 1-0 kind of thing here. Is that what
I
you're?
think both low scoring for some reason. I feel both low scoring. I think Man City. I mean, I don't know. Last year they were like 5-1, but I'm not sure what Pep's gonna do. I'm a little bit hesitant there. I'm gonna say Man City 1-0, and then Porto Inter. I'm gonna say 0-0. I feel low
Heck,
scoring matches.
heck yeah.
This is Champions League, right? Exciting soccer.
Yeah. Uh, okay. Yeah.
What are you
Uh,
say? What do you think?
so I mean, with that, with the 1-0, if that's what we're thinking, wouldn't we just want to completely fade Haaland in tournaments? That's when you want to fade Haaland. I mean, sure, maybe he gets that one goal, but is like 14 points going to be worth it? Because I mean, you could find more floor points in that Porto Inter match. I figure from that salary, and you don't have to punt at least one position. So. Um, yeah, I mean, you get De Bruyne, you get Mahrez, you get whoever is taking set pieces for Porto, you get Çalhanoğlu,
Yeah,
DeMarco.
You put Franco in there, regardless if he starts or not. You're good.
Yeah, you just get all the floor guys. You could
Yeah, get
probably,
Hakan, then get Stakio, and then
I mean, you could probably
D'Ambrosio.
fit Ederson into this lineup as well. So
Why not, right?
not too difficult. All
Yeah.
right, let's.
No, that's what I think. Like, I don't. I think they're gonna be low scoring. I don't want Haaland, but there is a point. Like, I mean, do I? Everything else just looks so bad for the salaries that what else are you gonna do, right? So
Mhm. All right. The main issue I keep coming to is like my utility spot is always in like this 5K, the sub 5K range, and there's no one I want to play right there.
there's nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
it's
problem, right? There's just not many people there.
unless you want to play Mkhitaryan.
I did it, didn't work out.
Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to do or say. Like it's just a matter of like, wow. I mean, can we have some Andre Franco so we can have some fun lineups? At least people can make some decisions. Um, if not, it's just yeah, it's
Would
gonna
it be
be.
worth it to instead of getting Ederson, would it be worth it to going down at goalkeeper and then moving up a little bit to get like the a Rodri or something there? Or even Dumfries, just above 5K, I guess.
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
I feel more confident playing Rodri. Playing Dumfries. Not sure Rodri. Rodri seems to do it all the time, but definitely Dumfries over Ederson. I mean, I just goalkeeper is just so hard. Just the salary is just I don't know. I think I'd be happy going down. I mean, for Dumfries or Rodri, I mean, this is the point where we are, right? Like, I just don't know.
I'm also might be overrating Rodri a little bit. I thought he was a little more consistent, but it seems like he does have his floor is often unreliable. Even though in like a must win match here kind of thing at home, I guess it's not as big of a guarantee that I thought he would have. So
Right.
it's kind of the Enzo Fernandez situation because I played Enzo Fernandez in tournaments last week. Uh, I don't think he got 1 point. So
Yeah,
that's,
Barella would be the same spot, I think. So that's the reason for getting Mkhitaryan. Well, Mkhitaryan maybe has some upside. I mean, we haven't seen it, but he used to.
would you like? So what do we? Barella, Rodri, Dumfries. Anyone stand
I think
out here in
Dumfries
this?
for me. Dumfries for me in those three,
Okay. Yeah, because
just because of the win back.
it seems like a full 90 should be there for Dumfries.
Yeah,
That's
as you say, there's not many warm bodies to play. There's the Ambrosio, right? I don't know if Danilo Ambrosio is
yeah.
healthy.
I'm looking at the last match because Darmian started on the right side as a right winger in that last match. So we'll see how they actually look.
So they put the
I,
Ambrosio there as center back. It can happen. So
yeah. So a lot basically. everything's going to depend on what these lineups look like. It's going to depend on Andre Franco. It's going to depend on what the wing backs and center backs look like for Inter, and that's kind of how our lineups are going to be decided. Really, unfortunately,
Yep.
that's just how it is. And then you can decide what Manchester City players to go from there. Do you want any? Are you going to have any interest in Leipzig in tournaments?
No.
Okay,
No.
it just seems
None.
like.
Zero. None. Either Porto or Inter, but no. Not Leipzig.
What if it's a 6-3 match like 2 years ago? You get Haaland hat trick, you get Mahrez brace, and then you get the Andre Silva Szoboszlai goal assist combo.
I mean, I
There
don't
you
think you
go.
can afford it this time. You cannot afford it. So
Yeah,
that's the
those.
problem. Like, you cannot afford it, right? It's that the prices are not pretty good for that. So.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think that's all we can say here. Depends on lineups. You got to decide if you want to play Holland or not, and then you go from there. So, yeah. Any other thoughts, Luis?
Now, good luck, guys. We're gonna play this late, but my God, it's gonna be tough.
It's going to be tough. I think tomorrow is going to be, or Wednesday is going to be wild compared to this one. This Tuesday one, as Luis
Yeah,
was saying, it's seems like it's going to be low scoring, kind of like the first set of matches there. But
yeah. No, I like the other match. I mean, I'm pretty excited about playing Liverpool, so get killed. Pretty excited about Napoli and Frankfurt. So yeah, we'll
oh
see.
yeah, oh yeah, going to be some fun. You can find Luis at Pacheco on Twitter. I'm at RotoZdroik. You can also get all of the RotoWire content at RotoWire. RotoWire.com/soccer trial, free 48-hour trial. And then once you're in, to get into our Discord, RotoWire.com/chat. And then you can chat with us about these lineups that we're going to get. The lineups, yeah. If you have questions about lineups, go into our Discord. We'll help you out because sometimes Opta does not put out the correct formations, and it needs, like, you need to look into it more than just looking at Opta lineups, because those are when we have questions with lineups like this and different players are in starting 11s. Opta, for some reason, I don't know, some of their employees, I guess, aren't familiar with putting in formations and are just way off at times. So you got to be into a Discord if you want the correct formations, is what I'm saying here. But
Yeah. Sometimes the
Luis,
team even put the teams even put the wrong formation to
yeah, throw everyone off. Right.
yeah.
Luis, good luck on this.
Good luck.
I'm gonna have 0% Holland. I'm saying it right now, 0% Holland. So he's probably gonna get a couple goals, but I'm gonna have 0% in cash in tournaments. I'm just completely fading him. I'm thinking Orban and Gavardiol are just gonna contain him, and I mean, one shot in that first meeting, so that's kind of what I'm banking on again. So there you go. That's the key to winning right there, or maybe the key to losing. We'll find out.
We'll find out. All right. Good luck, everybody, and yeah, we'll see. Hey, Haaland is Haaland, right? Like whatever happens, I'm with you, but everything else is bad. Anyhow, good luck, guys.
Good luck, everyone.